Now serving your entree of sports and entertainment, the triple shot of Marcus returns. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Fish and Grits for the Culture, April 11, 2018. How's it going for you, fellas?
Man, it's the last day of the NBA season, and never forget, your bitch want to party with Cardi. Party and Cardi and Bart. Hey, man, I really like that song. I don't know
Don't
about
You're
y'all.
not gonna
I,
start off with Cardi B after the greatest
hey,
doler of all time was over the weekend. Little Hank Williams doing his thing at
man,
Walmart.
nobody wanted to hear that. Hey,
He was killing it, dude.
get
Don't
out of Walmart, dog. Ain't nobody trying to see that. I'm trying to buy my groceries and buy these toys. Get out the way.
What's going down with you, Will?
Not a whole lot, man. Ready to see these playoffs finally get started.
Man, I am anxious, dude. I'm anxious. This is what it's all about. I'm ready.
I'm anxious to know the sex of the baby of Cardi B.
You and this Cardi B push, man.
Hey, man, you gotta give that girl her love, man. She been really holding it
I'm
down out
talking,
here. I gotta give some respect
I
to her.
mean that She Goes album that she dropped was pretty dope. That female Migos album that she put out there. I mean,
Dang, son, you said female Migos out?
she
Ah,
goes
dang.
she goes, man. That's what I call it. She Goes, man. That's what that album was. It had a lot of that Migos flavor to it, man. And I'm not knocking it at all. It was a
Yeah,
great
album's
album.
good. It's
Yeah, it
cool.
was a great album, but it was definitely Migos based. They had to hook up on some beats. Probably wrote a couple songs for. I wouldn't be surprised, but
Yeah, she had
overall,
very
it was
catchy
a damn good.
production. She had a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
catchy production.
I mean,
I gotta say, I'm not a fan of like. I mean, let's keep it 100. I'm not a fan of like female rappers to the highest degree. I mean, I did jam like Missy Elliott and Eve growing up. I wasn't a fan of Lil Kim and Trina. I felt really dirty when I listened to their music. But
Trina. Christ.
Trina was wild, man.
I
If
had
you
to take
really
a
want to go
you gotta
back,
take a bath when you listen to Trina. You just feel
man, I feel like she impregnated me when listening to the album. I said, my word, she gave you 101 lessons on how to get the D. But
man.
um, for with that Cardi B album, what I liked about it is it's something good to ride to, and I have to give her credit because from a artist standpoint, Rhapsody has probably some of the best lyricism in the game right now, and her album was phenomenal. Layla's wisdom, but from a ride, I can jam on a day to day basis. You know, it could be in the shuffle or whatnot. This Cardi B album is really impressive, and the thing I like about this album is I didn't know what to expect going in. So when I went in and I listened to, I mean, I like Barty Akari or whatever the song is called. I don't really care for Bodak Yellow. Be Careful is really a hot song. I wish J Cole was on there, but so I didn't know what to expect. So when she come out with that Get Up 10, I was like, okay, I kind of feel this. You know, she got the little Meek Mill flow, but she killing it. And
Mhm.
I'm gonna say cover to cover. I really enjoyed the album. I can't really hate on it. I see why it's getting all the hype that it's getting. And then she secured the bag with the pregnancy. So you can't just be like, oh man, you had a trash CD and you pregnant. Ain't nobody about to give you
Hey,
no
man.
negative criticism.
Feel me? No, she doing the thing. I jammed it one time through. I don't think I'm gonna have it on repeat or anything. Just keep jamming like that because, like I say, it got that typical Migos feel to it. To where Migos, I listen to them once, all right, I'm cool, I feel it. But I don't think it's gonna be on repeat for me. Like I say, nothing against the album, but it's not for me, bro.
Oh,
It,
it's not a male centered CD. You
no,
know, it
not
ain't
at
nothing like we trying to
all.
be like, hey, dog, go to the bar, say, dog, you heard a new Cardi? Woo, flames. Nah,
No,
I mean, it's just something good to listen to.
I definitely gave her a spin, but my girl got it on repeat all day, and I just like,
If you go to the club, I'm pretty
get
sure
some
you're gonna hear
chicken,
that money back,
get
money
some
back, money
drink,
back.
get some chicken, get some like, oh Lord,
Oh
done with
yeah,
this.
man, bop bop.
Did you give it
What's
a
this?
spin, Wilson?
Yes, I was pleasantly surprised by it. I think that it's pretty much par for the course for what today's music provides. Catchy tracks, nice hooks, good club bangers that'll be in every rotation. Most ladies that I've encountered that have listened to the album enjoy it, so I'm not surprised that with most females it stays on repeat.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but for me, I mean, it's cool for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the biggest fan of what would categorize as today's music, so for me, I appreciated it for what it was. Didn't try to read too much into it. Didn't really have high expectations, so it wasn't like it was anything that could really let me down per se because I really didn't go into it with any kind of expectations of her whatsoever. But I think she did a good job. I think that she did better than what most of her detractors figured that she would do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that she's a
It
smart girl. I think that she's flipped from being what most people thought from her reality TV days of her just being the
A
comic
gimmick.
relief or the punchline or the gimmick to actually being a money producer and a viable commodity. Um, and yeah, I mean, she's doing her things. Congratulations on her pregnancy. I thought it was a bold move, a risky one that paid off for her doing the Saturday Night Live reveal. But that's come up aces for her as well. And it'll be interesting to see how her career kind of goes moving forward with all the things that are going on with her right now.
And the thing that I like about her album is, on top of it being a pretty fairly good album, is she has enough singles on there where she can ride for a good year or so. So, with having the baby, getting through those little younger, early stages or infant stages, she can really, really milk this album for a good year because it has enough singles on there that can carry her, just like a Beyonce. Not trying to compare her to Beyonce. Beyonce kind of waits some time before she releases the album, but usually when she drops one album, it kind of rides for a while. Like it doesn't just die off after a year and it's like, oh, when's the next Beyonce album? It kind of carries itself. So I think this album is really going to carry it.
No doubt, 100%. Then
I want to mention one other thing. Boz just dropped a new song, and I love to give shout out. I haven't been doing this lately, letting people know some good singles out there. Boz just dropped a new song called Pinball, and if you want to hear, or you want to kind of get ready for the Dreamville takeover, go jam that song right now.
And what you think Drake track? Nice for what?
Boy, I care less about Drake. Drake, it's not for me. Is that new one he dropped, or the one with the females all in the Me Too movement on the video?
Yeah, that one right there.
Oh, me personally, I don't really care for it. It's nothing that I can see what people like about it. It's got the New Orleans bounce, so you can't lose with a New Orleans bounce. And you have a bunch of predominant females in the industry that's on his video, so you can't lose. It's Drake, man. He can't lose. He's like LeBron. I mean, you're going to love him or hate him, but you're still going to be jamming him, so.
No doubt. Did you catch it, Will? The Nice for What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a mad track. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's cool. It's Drake. It's catchy in the club. It's on repeat for certain folks, not on repeat for others. I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking or extraordinary about it. It's pretty much par for the course.
Water's wet, sky's blue. I can't complain no more. It's like I've been wanting Drake just to go back to just lyrical bars, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna get that, so I might as well just sit back and enjoy what's out there.
Oh yeah, that Drake is gone, bro.
Oh man, poor Jimmy, man. We got the popular Drake, man. I want that old school Drake, that old what song?
When you get that bread, man, the change boys, man, that flow change.
Yeah, for some, but I can understand. He's the master of just selling records. Like he can literally just fart on a record and it can sell just millions, dog. I'm just think about that, man. He really doesn't be saying nothing. If you really listen to the album, he don't say not a word, nothing that's relevant. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I can't hate. People gonna say I'm a hater. It's like you can't just genuinely dislike something without somebody labeling you as a hater nowadays. So it is what it is.
Yeah, everybody got an opinion about something as soon as you give any negative criticism towards somebody. So
yeah, they think you some hating all of a sudden. Yeah. I'm like, come on, dog. I mean, like I like Drake. Like, I mean, I was jamming what's that one album that he had, man? Was it Nothing Was the Same? Man, I love that album.
Well, that was his last great album to me.
And in my opinion, I agree. Just like Kanye West, I love the first 4 or 5 albums of Kanye. Then it kind of died off to me, in my opinion. But I'm not a hater.
Yeezus is okay, but yeah, he wasn't saying.
Yeah, people love to call folks haters, but it is. It's whatever.
Yeah.
And Drake, do your thing. Do your thing, Jimmy.
Drake, secure the bag. Did y'all finish up the Rapture documentaries?
No, I haven't finished A Boogie's episode. I'll let Marcus talk about it since, he ain't really been saying nothing. He been low-key quiet over there, waking up from that nap.
I don't know. I'm good, man. I mean, I enjoyed the series as a whole. It was a little bit more than what I expected. Just a really good take on a lot of up-and-coming artists or I shouldn't say up and coming because they have some established artists on there too, but maybe artists that you may not have really known that much about unless you're really, really like a hip hop head. but it just gives them a different viewpoint, a different look. It's not just, oh, you know, what is it that makes you hot? Let's look at a day in the life. Let's look and see, you know, how you bang out these rhymes, this, that, and the other. It talks about, you know, different things, people entertaining different platforms and different struggles that they had to go through and stuff like that. It kind of gives you a little bit of an emotional attachment, an emotional investment in some of these artists that they're profiling on the Rapture. And I think that when you can do that with a documentary, it's always a job well done. But it was very insightful for somebody like myself that doesn't really listen to a lot of what you would call, I guess, new music or new artists. Seeing some of these guys that I'm not really familiar with, it's good to learn a lot from them. It kind of helps you buy in and pique my interest about some of these artists and kind of looking into some of their work and stuff like that. But overall, I thought it was a really good series. I'll be really interested to see what they do for an encore.
I hope they bring more artists in.
But it was really strong. I definitely appreciated it, and for a lot of folks that don't really know about a lot of these artists that come in, or a lot of these established artists that you think you may know but don't know some of the things that they actually go through or some of the things that they're trying to embrace. It's a really good watch. It's not a waste of time by any means.
Except that first episode. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not like that Logic episode. It kind of just like, is this how you want to start the series off? I don't know your take on it, honestly, Marcus, but I was personally just offended how he was basically talking about the lifestyle of a lot of the black youth, what we deal with, you know, with our mama kind of being combative, how, you know, how parents are sometimes, or, you know, kind of the harsher upbringing. But he made it seem like it was detrimental to him. Not saying that it couldn't have been, but it's just like, yo, is this the wave you want to ride? Like, you want to embrace the culture, but you want to diss the culture. So you want to diss the way you had an upbringing, but it's like, it's a lot of us that's kind of was upbringing like that, and we're not complaining about it, and it's not kind of I want to say degrading or just killing our vibe and stuff like that. Like, my part, like when he was basically talking about his mother calling him a nigger or something like that when he was a child and stuff like that. I mean, like, hey, who mama hasn't called him a nigger? Like, I mean, you know, it'd be like, nigga, come here, come clean this stuff up. But it's just like, were you really that offended by that? I'm just like, I don't know. Logic comes off as a little fakish to me in that, but I mean, it's fine, dog. Dog, he really.
That's some of the same things that people said about interviews with Tupac, when you can go through and talk about women the way that you do, but then you want to make songs like "Dear Mama" or "Keep Your Head Up." I mean, it's not something that's new when it comes to hip hop or hip hop artists, and I mean, it's just all relative to the perception that you have. I mean, just throwing it out there, my mother has never ever called me a nigga. Never has, never will. I mean, everybody has their own different perspective. Everybody has their own perspective on things and stuff like that. And it may not be the comfortable thing, or it may not be the thing that people may want to hear with the way that he delivered it, but I cannot be mad at that man for telling his truth. I mean, it's his truth at the end of the day. It's just the way that he goes through with it. That's why I didn't really have a problem with it. It's just his take on his perception of what it is that made him what he is today.
I can give you that. I don't know. When I first jammed Logic, when he first came out, he seemed more into the culture. Now he seemed like he's kind of just I don't know how to kind of push it. He kind of how do I say this? So like when he first came out, Logic really embodied a lot of the hip hop elements that were a major influence of the 90s. So when his music started to go into like the new stuff he has now, I know he's trying to address a lot of the, you know, social issues that's going on, and a lot of the homophobic nomenclature that's out there and stuff like that. But he just didn't come off. Sometimes, I don't know, it could be me. It's been a few people I've spoken to that, you know, kind of echo my sentiments, but it's kind of, you come off a little fraud in your delivery of talking about things. And that's the kind of thing that kind of rubbed me wrong when it was, I want to say that it was a part of the interview. I want to say the end of the interview, when he was basically talking about when people try to doubt him as a rapper, and how he felt like he didn't need their benefit, their I guess their check of approval to talk about what he wanted to do. But it's like he was kind of dissing the way that a lot of people were up, like you had that black upbringing, but then you was like you didn't like the black upbringing. But it's like, how do you want to embrace being black then when you want to come on the radio or when you want to come on interviews and say that you're a black kid and the struggle of being a black kid and looking white and stuff like that? Where I can understand that, but it's like, was it really that bad, Logic? And I'm just like, I don't know. That's just me. I could be totally wrong, and I probably am totally wrong. But he just kind of, I don't know.
Hey,
rub me a little bit.
Yeah, they rub you the wrong way sometimes. Ain't nothing you can do about that, bro.
Like, I wasn't really trying to, but other than that, I really like the series. Like Marcus said, everything he says was so true. Personally, one of the favorite is Dave East, because I feel like Dave East is one of the artists that doesn't get enough love, and I love that he gave that you kind of got an insight of his life, and that gave you some of previews of some good tracks that I like from Dave East. So I hope more people check out Dave East. And like Marcus said, I hope they put a lot of more younger artists that not me or you or him really check for it and kind of say, okay, you know what, let me go check out their music, because I jam A Boogie with a Hoodie, but I still haven't made it to the episode yet.
All right, no doubt. So
how many more? It's a good series all the way around.
How many more you got left, Griff?
I got just that one episode. I just about to finish up with this Just Blaze. I think it's Just Blaze I'm listening to.
Okay, good deal. And did both of y'all catch the Jay-Z and David Letterman interview?
Yes, yeah. I did. Yes, I did. And Jay-Z really didn't say anything that we haven't heard before. I think with this interview that I really like, he kind of played it close to the chest and didn't kind of go too deep into a lot of his situation. But I think the thing that I like the most about this interview was, for David Letterman's standpoint, that he captured a lot of more fans that he probably didn't have based off this interview. And the reason why I say that is because that last 10 minutes or last 5 minutes of the interview, when they were talking about not so much the domestic violence, but infidelity, and Dave Letterman went through his scandal with the harassments at work and stuff like that, and it showed a side of Dave Letterman that I didn't really know, and he really showed a vulnerable side. Yeah. And he knew that his actions were, and we all been in that situation where in the moment, we may not have been thinking about the consequences, but after the action already happened and the deed has been done, it's either you can reflect on that and build from that, or you can reflect on it and not really care. And you see, it really bothers him that he did the act that he did, and it came off so genuine in that. And Jay-Z really didn't talk about his infidelity, but Dave Letterman going into that and exposing himself, it added another, I want to say, a check mark to his I want to say status, because it did something that I didn't think he was going to do. It was going to bring in more people, because I think Jay has his fans, but David Letterman grabbed a lot of Jay-Z fans that probably weren't checking for David Letterman. So I think that's good for him. But it's Jay-Z. He can sneeze on an interview and still be like, "Whoop, that's God right there." Yeah. Rap God. Let me not offend. Let me take that back.
But no, yeah, I mean, anytime somebody opens up to the public, especially with a celebrity, because we put them in such like a higher pedestal. So anytime they open up and you get that feeling like, oh, they just like us. They make mistakes. They learn from them. So anytime you put yourself, like you said, and make yourself vulnerable to everybody, you're going to win over people regardless. It don't matter what you did, as long as you admit your mistakes. And don't be fake about it. That's the big thing.
Yeah, Dave need to interview Tristan. I need what's going on with his hand, with his mind right now.
Please.
We need to know. Was you really having church sessions at 3:00 with this lady? Were you, sir?
Nah, B. Nah, not at all. What was your overall take from the interview, Will?
Typical Jay-Z, par for the course, no surprises.
He's right. He's right. It's like we didn't heard enough of Jay-Z. He don't really say nothing. He did speak on his mama's coming out the closet, but he didn't get deep into it like I really wanted to. Like when he said his mama finally came out and said that she was in love with another woman or whatnot. He was saying how he cried for happiness and stuff like that. And I just in my mind, I wanted to hear, how did it really affect you? Did you really feel some type of way with your mama coming out about that, or did you see the signs through the ages of your mama diving into going away from what you had thought were moral standards for your family and stuff like that? I really wanted him to dive into that, but he really didn't. So that's the only thing I kind of wanted to listen to, because I heard about his infidelity on the interview he had.
Right now, I said Jay-Z is very PC right now.
He is.
That's one of the things that I found to be very disappointing about the actual episode. If you really want to be honest about it, It was par for the course. It was typical Jay-Z. It was no surprise. Jay-Z is a businessman. He's a brand now. He's not a hip hop artist or a rapper with a voice. He's not somebody that per se has this vision or this platform with which he needs to express himself or be heard or be understood. He's past all that now. So right now, this is like a victory lap for him. This is like the kissing babies and shaking hands on a campaign trail type stuff. It's not what I subscribe to when I think about Jay-Z or hip hop in general. But it's one of those things that, you know, the natural progression of hip hop is that, you know, most people look at it like you look at gang life, like, okay, there's no future in it. It's not anything for old folks. You don't live long enough to grow old in this business, this, that, yada, yada, yada. But what happens when you do? You get what you get out of the Will Smiths of the world now. You get what you get out of the Jay-Z's of the world now, which is something that's a little bit different from what you think of when you think of hip hop or what it is that you're passionate about or what it is that you embrace and stuff like that. But then on the same token, you have to look back and say, well, this guy's literally accomplished everything that's on most hip hop heads' checklists. As far as acclaim, sales goals, money, notoriety, fame, all that other good stuff. So, I mean, what's left? I mean, to simply reflect back, be a voice, be that OG, if you will. And it may not be in the same capacity that you may want it to be, because he's not going to be running around with a Rockefeller chain and a bandana throwing up the rock and, you know, Hove, you know, it's not going to be that no more. I mean, he's older. He's different. He's a business. He's a father. He's a husband. So, you know, it's not going to sound the same. And I guess for diehard Jay-Z fans like myself, we kind of miss that every now and then.
You're right.
So, I mean, it's no hate or anything like that. It just is what it is. It's just that, you know, I guess the selfish inner kid in me coming up with Jay was like, you know, maybe he's going to come through and drop some knowledge or, you know, throw some curveballs at us or something like that. And I mean, he doesn't have to at this point. I mean, he's given the world more than enough to think about, dwell on, retweet, requote, ad lib, lip sync. You know what I'm saying? So the man owes us nothing, but you know, it's just me being selfish. Like, you know, I thought he was gonna throw a little grenade out there or something like that.
Really? Like when he was talking about beef.
Overall, it was cool.
You remember when he was talking about beefs and talking about with you know, the death of Biggie and Tupac and how that kind of shocked the culture and how a lot of hip hop heads were like, we got to move away from this. What? Jay-Z, are you serious? That's when you got your beef started with Nas and all them. Like, I was like, Jay-Z, no, you didn't say that, son.
The thing that you got to understand about it is twofold when it comes to that. He's right in the sense that it was a eye-opening moment when you had the deaths of Tupac and Biggie, because a lot of people that literally were taking sides to the point of violence were understanding the fact that, okay, maybe we should just pump the brakes on this a little bit. It's one thing to have pride. It's one thing to hold it down for your people, but to take it to that extreme, to that point to where we're losing faces and figures for the cause is a little bit much. You know what I'm saying? With little to no reason to have it. But for Jay, the irony of it is Jay-Z would not be Jay-Z today if Tupac and Biggie were still alive, because he would have never gotten his shot. He would have never had that lane open.
Oh yeah, Biggie never died. Yeah, he never would have taken off.
I mean, let's understand, if it wasn't for the fact that he came through with a nice hardcore hook from an Annie musical, Jay-Z was almost about to go under, because Reasonable Doubt was very underappreciated at the time. A lot of folks really did not like it. Now, it's one of those things that over time now it's looked at as a classic and a seminal work. But when it first came out, it was a lot of folks that weren't really checking for it. I loved it, but it was a lot of folks that really didn't check for it like that. And before Hard Knock Life came out, Jay-Z was about to fall to the wayside. That little song literally saved his career.
Because, man, Reasonable Doubt got some bars. Oh, my God, it got some songs on there. Can I Live, boy? That song alone.
Nice,
Can I Live?
You also got to remember that album came out. It was very New York. It was very East Coast hip hop at a time in the country where we were very divided regionally, and folks only listen to what they like listening to. Folks down here only like listening to Screw, or they only like listening to Southern hip hop, maybe a splash of West Coast. West Coast folks wasn't checking for nothing but West Coast and gangster rap. East Coast dudes wasn't checking for nothing but New York dudes that had them lyrics and them bars and stuff like that. So it was very divisive at the time when Reasonable Doubt really came out. So most folks outside of New York really didn't check for it. Folks down here, I remember people looked at me like I was crazy because I was listening to the shit literally every day. It was on repeat in my car every day. People was like, "Who is that? He sounds like nah, that's trash. That East Coast."
Scarface.
Yeah, I didn't appreciate Jay-Z until damn near college when one of my friends from Delaware, Eric, put me on, and I was just like, yo, I was really sleeping on Jay. Jay had some, before he had commercial hits, he had some good deep stuff with that Reasonable Doubt.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it was a good interview. I mean, it was cool.
And what's up with this Rock versus Vin Diesel? I mean, this one-sided feud that's going on here. You can't feud with the Rock.
You can't feud with the undisputed champion of the world. You know, when it comes to box office sales, this man is killing it right now. Man. I don't know. It just seems like a lot of pettiness going on with the whole Tyrese and Rock, and then Vin Diesel get into the mix. Well, you know, Vin Diesel and The Rock haven't liked each other since, I want to say, they said what, Fast 6 or whatnot, because he felt like the story of, or the, I guess the viewpoints of the Fast movies were getting away from the core characters and kind of going towards The Rock and stuff like that. And I'm just like, you can't hate on that man.
The big draw. I mean, come on now.
I mean, shit, he's the one who put franchise. Dog, Fast and Furious. People love to forget that Fast and Furious was like how Marcus said that Jay-Z was about to go into the recycle bin. Fast and Furious, you can find those movies in the recycle bin. When it came with Tokyo Drift and Fast and Furious, it wasn't until Fast.
Whoa. Time out. First of all, y'all not gonna see. Secondly, as most people finally figured out once they actually got a chance to tell all their story and stuff like that, everybody thought that Tokyo Drift was trash. Tokyo Drift actually tied in the entire series together once you got to the later one.
I'll let y'all get back to okay, so Tokyo Drift tied into the series because it was Tokyo Drift was a straight to DVD movie, and Fast and the Furious was released in the studio. I mean, released in the box office and had one of its lowest numbers. It wasn't until Fast 5 came out where The Rock kind of rejuvenized his career and that whole franchise, and we looked at it in a new light, like, damn, heist movies, this is interesting. We're tired of seeing racing cars. Me personally, I love Tokyo Drift. As terrible as that movie is, I really enjoyed that film. But
what's terrible about the movie? Other than the fact that the usual people that you expected to be in Fast and the Furious weren't in it.
No. It just wasn't. It wasn't the greatest film, as in plot points. It wasn't the greatest film.
It didn't keep you motivated to keep watching. Like,
yeah, exactly. It was very like B-list. It was a good movie because you got to see I enjoy watching the drifting. That's the thing that really.
It's still B-list, and the plot still is kind of irrelevant to you compared to the way that it stands now. I mean, I can understand your viewpoint of it then because they didn't explain it then how it ties into the rest of the series, because it was actually taken out of context and it's not chronological as far as how the Fast and the Furious movies flow. But as it pertains to the series now in its totality, you really can't have the entire story be told without Tokyo Drift.
We know that, but at the time it wasn't. The time it was not that. At the time,
you didn't say at the time. Y'all are speaking about it like it's trash now.
I didn't know. I wasn't speaking about that it was trash now. I spoke that it was trash when it was coming out. Like when you said Jay-Z, when you watched it, so. This is how
it came out at a time where the Fast and the Furious people didn't have a choice because Vin Diesel was being a diva and decided he didn't want to do any Fast and the Furious.
Exactly.
He wanted to do Triple X.
But I never
now that he's getting he tried to pull a Rock move, but the Rock pulled a better move than he did, and now he's bitter about the shit.
That's why I wasn't talking about right now. Like how you said with Jay-Z, when it wasn't until that Hard Knocks Life came out that people were just not appreciating the goodness of A Reasonable Doubt, and that's what I'm saying right now. Fast and the Furious franchise was going straight to the recycle bin or the $5 bin at Walmart with, you know, Fast and Furious and Tokyo Drift, and it took The Rock really starting to gain popularity from that franchise and also bringing people to watch that. It put The Rock on a global scale, and people were like, damn, this is what we've been missing from The Rock. And then on top of that, it added new life into that. And I'm saying that beef started to happen because, like you said, Vin Diesel tried to pull a fast one and not want to be associated with that movie. And then all of a sudden, you saw it's a lot of the fandom, a lot of the script is starting to go towards The Rock. Now he's starting to have the spinoff with the Hobbs movie and stuff like that. It's because the extra characters became more I want to say more intriguing than the old characters. Like I enjoy seeing Luke Evans and Jason Statham and The Rock. So I wanted to see where their storyline go. It's just honestly, when all boils down, you can't compete with The Rock.
Vin Diesel with his low talking lines like,
"Come on, let's ride, Paul Walker. Come on, Paul Walker." I was just like, "Come on, Vin." I was like, "Vin, go do Groot. I am Groot. Go get your money and your Marvel money, son."
That's the perfect role for him.
Vin Diesel really was talking like he had a successful career. I mean, he had a good career, but I'm just like, come on, Triple X, Pacifier. What's that? The Pacifier. Come on, son. Like, don't be hating on The Rock. Just embrace The Rock. Just ride that wave. But he thinks it's funny because he thinks, and Tyrese thinks, that people are gonna stop remembering the Fast and Furious folks. And that's their bread and butter, and that's why they're really complaining about it, because they have no other projects really popping off. Yeah, besides, Vin Diesel does have I Am Groot running around, but
yeah, they need that check. That's why they upset, man, because that's something you can bank on, like real deal.
Yeah, you bank on a bill now. You can bank on a bill easily with those movies now. At first, you couldn't.
Yeah, at first you couldn't. It didn't have the type of clout.
But you got to give Rock some love, man. Anything The Rock touches is golden right now.
Always.
He's the male Cardi B right now.
That's so disrespectful.
It is, but man, The Rock, I just think about it. Ballers. He had that show on TNT that was live. The
Rock has been holding it down in theaters and TV for the past 15 years.
Bro, have you seen that movie Journey?
Down period for the last 30 years.
Yeah, because have you
talking about? It's not just movies. It's not just TV shows. The Rock has been a ingrained fixture in pop culture for the better part of 30 years. This isn't new notoriety. This isn't new fame. Rock was cashing big boy checks when everybody else was getting table scraps in the WWF. Let's not get it twisted.
He got them now. He did get them big boy checks when it came to Fast and Furious. That took his career to a whole. That series helped out his career as much as he helped that series
already going up. His coming out party was the Rundown, if you really want to be honest about it. Because that was the time he really got out and demonstrated comedy chops was on the Rundown before he even got to Fast and Furious.
But guess what? Me and DeMarcus had this we had this talk what was that, Sunday before you came to the house, and we pointed out and we looked up his movies and his box office production, and what I'm saying is they weren't really grabbing that much money. He wasn't making that much money. It wasn't until Fast 5 came out, and then he flipped it and started starring in these other movies, and he started getting that international appeal, and then then the rest of the world start catching up and say, you know what, let me check out these Rocks movies, and then they really start killing with Journey to the Center of the Earth 2, making like $300-something million, and then all of a sudden you got that what's that movie where it was like the Earth was blowing up and crap like that. That movie made bank. Like he really wasn't killing in the box office until Fast and the Furious kind of changed everything and put him on a global scale, and then he really started making bank. Because that was one thing I've always looked at. I love looking at box office numbers and how much actors and actresses make and see when they really start getting a popularity. And he didn't start being the highest paid actor until damn near 2014. Then he's really got on the roll. But before then, The Rock was known, but he wasn't known at the level he is now. It's kind of like, let's take it like Kendrick. Like Kendrick.
I need you to understand the depth of what you're saying, because you're telling me that he wasn't known before Fast and the Furious.
I didn't say he wasn't being known, but he was known, but he wasn't known like a big time star until that movie, and the box office records show it.
But as an entertainer, he has been holding down for 30 years.
Simply be a little bit more specific, because you're saying it like he just wasn't known before Fast.
I didn't say that, and if you weren't, Marcus, you could have heard me. I even said that he was known, but he wasn't known to a global scale like he is right now. I mean, I don't know what more I can say. Like
he really wasn't to the global scale as an actor, right? That's what you're saying. Because you're still being very general. Because he's one of the most internationally recognized people as an entertainer. Period. That's why I'm asking. Just be specific. You're saying it as an actor. Because if you're saying it as anything else, you sound crazy. Because he was always all over the world as a wrestler before he ever did anything.
He was The Rock. Gridiron Gang.
That's what I'm saying.
And they weren't making, and those movies weren't making no type of money. We knew he like you said,
he was making money.
he was making okay money. He was literally okay. So The Rock's.
Man, if you ain't gotta go through a table every other week, any money.
Let me tell you. Let me hit you with this one, and this is what I've done my research with. So when The Rock was coming out with like the Rundown, the Scorpion Kings, or something like that, he was making like $1 million to $2 million for his movies. Until Fast and the Furious come up, his check jumped up to. He was reportedly grabbing $10 million per movie. And I'm always saying, like Keanu Reeves, you know, when Keanu Reeves was coming out with those movies like Speed and stuff like that, back in the 90s, he was a good he was known as a good actor, but it took The Matrix to put him on a global scale, and then his box office number, his paycheck started going up. That's all I'm saying. Same with like Robert Downey Jr., same with a lot of these stars. It always takes at least one movie that kind of catapults you and puts you in a national spotlight, and then your checks start to get up a little bit more. And that's all I'm saying. The Rock was known. The Rock was really known. We all know The Rock was known.
Money has gone up, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. His side and his acting money for what's that movie?
No. His acting money is his side money. When he was doing those little cameos and stuff like that, he was cashing 8-figure checks off royalties from his WWF T-shirts and shit like that. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand when you keep talking about
SmackDown was his game. Like that was the Rock.
That dude, he created an entire show off a word that he created to put in the dictionary. Yeah. That's why I'm saying, be more specific when you keep saying about him being quote unquote known. You're strictly speaking on movies.
Yes, what I'm talking about. What else were we talking about? What else were we talking about? We were talking about Fast and the Furious. That's the only thing I was talking about. What is a movie? I wasn't talking about what Rock doing.
Statement like, oh, he wasn't known until Fast and the Furious.
He wasn't known on the global scale. I'm talking about movies. All this is referring to movies because we're talking about the movie.
To movies because you didn't start off the conversation like that. You just said he wasn't known until Fast and the Furious.
Well, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I didn't say as a movie actor.
Man, we talking about pop culture. You offended everybody on earth that's pop culture relevant.
Man, if anybody's offended by whatever I said, and you couldn't follow the steps that I was leaving behind, then that's just your problem. Because you can't be mad. Because nobody was checking for the Rundown. Nobody was checking for Be Cool, Doom, Gridiron Game. Man, are you serious? Are you serious? Okay, let me ask you a question. So Doom's production budget was $60 million. Guess how much it made in the box office? $56 million. The Rundown, guess what? Production budget was $85 million. It only made $80 million in the box office. Tooth Fairy only made, guess what? Production budget $48 million, only made what? $40 million. I'm telling you, The Rock number, this box office, when it comes to box office, so I look at that on a day-to-day basis.
We're going to remember this for the rest of the program. You're just going strictly off numbers, right?
I'm going off of numbers. I'm going off of popularity.
You're going off numbers. You're not going off popularity because WWF.
Let's go move on to the. Let's go.
They were going through and posting on commercials.
Just because
don't cut me off because I'm telling you the truth.
But you're not telling me the truth. I'm giving you numbers. You're not telling me the truth.
I am telling you the truth.
How are you telling me the truth? Because guess what, Marcus? Guess what? So you sit up there and you see The Rock on these commercials and stuff like that. The Rock was literally the laughing stock of Hollywood for the longest time because everybody said that he wouldn't do nothing but get a Disney check. It didn't take till Fast and the Furious until they put us on and it reshaped his career. That guess what? The Rock could be an action star, and then that's when his career took off again. And then that's when he started getting the other shows, when he started doing Ballers and getting like a fucking $1 million check an episode, or when he started doing that show on TNT and stuff like that. Other avenues jumped off, and it says he did as much for the Fast and Furious franchise than that the Fast and Furious franchise did for his career. They both helped each other, and that's the thing that made Vin Diesel mad, and that's what the beef started. That's what the beef always started. They were envious, and they had to be jealous of what The Rock was doing. How was he popping, and he was literally doing the same thing as them? His career didn't start really taking off movie-wise, not talking about international, movie-wise into a broader audience until those movies. And I will always say that Fast and the Furious was the catalyst of that. I will always say that. People weren't checking for The Rocks. Nobody was looking at Get Smart because The Rock was in Get Smart. It was because of Steve Carell and Anne Hathaway. No one was looking for The Rock. I promise you this. Box office is what I always love to look at. And that's the only thing that you can get me on football. You catch me slipping on basketball. You catch me slipping on baseball. When it comes to box office, I look at this on a day-to-day basis. I like to look at those trends. I like to look and see what these actors are doing. And that's all I'm saying.
So it's just a pure numbers thing. It's box office. It's a movie thing. I get it. Yeah, because you can't be talking about pop culture, popularity, wrestling fans, or anything like that because you clearly have no idea about any of that.
Oh my God!
Okay,
this is how I put it. This is how I put it. No, this is how I say it. So guess what? If there were so many wrestling fans that supported The Rock, then why did his movies make more money? They didn't.
It took an internet. Why does he still get all these chances, even though you just said that he was a laughing stock of?
I literally told you what happened. He had a contract with Disney. That's why his consecutive movies were with Disney.
Take into consideration the fact that you got wrestling fans all over Earth that are going to sit and pay money to see this man. To give him a second chance since he was quote unquote.
Like I'm literally telling you, I'm literally giving you facts based off the numbers that I'm dropping. But you sit up there
literally telling you as a wrestling fan exactly what it is that goes through the thought processes because you obviously aren't one.
Clearly, you're not listening to what I'm saying, but you just felt the need to debate. So it is what it is. No, it's not because we're still
about the box.
No, it's not because I'm talking about. I'm not talking about. Literally, we're talking about movies. Are you kidding me? Fuck. There's 75. Okay, yeah. Guess what? There's a lot of wrestling fans. Guess what, Marcus? Back in the day, there wasn't as many wrestling fans as there is now. And you can't sit up and telling me that The Rock was really popping like that. He was not popping like that. Nobody was checking to go see a Doom or a Rundown or a fucking Walking Tall or any of them shits. Like they would go out there and make some money, but no one was checking for those. Fast and Furious, Snitch, all them shit start really taking his career to the whole nother level. And you can't deny that. There's nobody who can sit up there and deny and say that it wasn't that. Like this man took a leap in his career off of that one movie. And nobody can deny that.
Nobody
at all.
Griff. First off, you do got to know where you rubbing Wilson the wrong way is. Just listen. Take a time out. Listen. Just take a chill pill.
Oh no! Let Movie Boy have his fun time with it.
What you missing out is when you talk about
you're not appreciating what I'm talking about.
When you talk about the late '90s wrestling, the wrestling epidemic was global. It was business.
It was
fans now than it was in the '90s.
It was. Listen, Griff, wrestling would never be as popular than it was back then because it was adults watching it. Now it's kid based. Everything you see now is kid based on so the kids can buy merchandise, get all the cool little belts. But back then, the wrestling culture was real, bro. It was real deal. So
let me ask you a question.
I see where Wilson coming from because The Rock, in our eyes, and me and Wilson's eyes, watching it, me since the 90s, Wilson since what 80s, we have
I've been watching it.
We have seen it grow, and we know what kind of stars these wrestlers can be. Hulk Hogan was in movies back then in the mid 90s, Ninjas. He played a babysitter. He did all type of things. So I get what you're saying that Rock globally as an international movie star didn't take off, but he's always been a star.
Yes, I know that. And that's what I've said. I said that from jump. I said that he was a star. The Rock, I'm the biggest person who said that The Rock is the person that I said was the only thing I watched about wrestling was The Rock. I'm saying he didn't become a movie international top box office money maker until Fast and Furious. That's all I'm saying.
And I hear, but it's just rubbing him. It's rubbing Wilson the wrong way because we.
But how is that rubbing you wrong? Like I'm not saying that The Rock was trash.
Until now, specifically, he wasn't known as an international movie star. You just said he wasn't known globally.
You did say he wasn't known.
I'm sorry, I missed a few words. Oh my God, you knew what I was talking about. No,
few words matter.
Man, let's move on to the next topic. Let's go.
An audience, don't get mad because you got called on your.
I'm not mad about it. It is what it is.
I can't tell by all the damn yelling that you doing.
Dog, just because I get expressive don't mean I'm mad. Like it's all good. Okay. Like I'm not mad. It is what it is.
Okay.
Like you can't sit there and tell me what my emotions are because I'm sitting up here and got loud. That's what I do.
I'm not telling you anything. You feel free to do whatever you want.
You just literally just said you getting over there getting mad. And I just said I'm not mad. I'm fine. I just get expressive. Everybody knows that about me.
Okay.
Y'all was a wild as shit.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you got because you started yelling first, so it is what it is.
I'm glad you said that, and we'll remember that for the rest of this broadcast because it's not like you don't get easily triggered. But we have basketball talk for me to check.
Oh, yawn. Continue.
Right. Let's keep going.
Continue.
Let's keep going.
Man,
we see what type of episode this gonna be. We see what episode this is gonna be.
It's gonna get real in a couple segments. But before we jump into the NBA awards, NBA playoffs, and everything, we just gonna jump into a little bit of the early baseball storylines. Mainly, Giancarlo Stanton. What's going on in New York, my man? What's going
New
on?
York air is thick. It's hard to breathe. It's different, man. When you're down there and you're in Miami where nobody don't really give a shit about baseball, so you can do whatever you want to, and it ain't no scrutiny or no spotlight. I mean, you can feel free to swing away, and people don't pay attention to, the little things here and there. When you go to the Yankees, man, hey, they pay attention to everything. And yeah, you got off to a great start. You bombed out 2 home runs first game, and then you became the only player in history to have two platinum sombrero games within a week span. Uh, that's major in a city like New York. You're talking about the last time you saw somebody have 2 5 strikeout games in a season in the closest margin was Ron Gantt. It took him 120 games to have 2 5 strikeout games. And
Mm.
Giancarlo Stanton did it in a span of like 5 games. So he's gonna have to weather that storm and stuff like that. But for people to pay attention and they know baseball and stuff like that, it wasn't like is Ichiro. He's not a hitter for average. He hits home runs. And as with most home run hitters, you're going to get a lot of home runs or you're going to get a lot of strikeouts.
True.
So, I mean, he's got to adjust. He's got to get used to playing under those lights and with those expectations and stuff like that. But, I mean, it's early in the year. Everybody goes through it. Everybody has their ups. Everybody has their downs and stuff like that. I mean, it'll correct itself. You go through it's the nature of the beast when you deal with a team like the Yankees that have a lot of home run hitters. They don't have a lot of hitters on their team. They have a lot of home run hitters on their team. So you're going to get those boom or bust games quite often. So people just have to sit down, ride the roller coaster, and bear it out. And hopefully it'll come out on the winning side.
No doubt, no doubt. Then Shohei Ohtani, man, damn near threw a perfect game today. He's probably one of the top 5 hitters on the team. That shit is crazy.
Yo, man, this dude is like the Asian Babe Ruth, man. Like, this dude is literally, arguably, like their best all-around player. No disrespect to Mike Trout, but I ain't seen Mike Trout strike out 12 on the mound. This kid is everything is advertised, man. They went through a little scare in the offseason with the injury thing and stuff like that, but it's obviously gotten corrected. He's literally a throwback classic because when he's not pitching, he's their designated hitter. So he literally plays like every day for real in some capacity for them. He's been lights out on the mound. He's been lights out at bat. He's the real deal, man. And he's another example of good marketing. A lot of people were upset. I know a lot of us Yankee fans wanted him to come to New York and stuff like that, but I think he picked the best of both worlds, going to a smaller market where it's not so many people, just kind of putting him under that microscope. And he's showing out, man. He is impressive, to say the least. He is impressive.
Yeah, he's damn good, man. My only little storyline right now is Dallas Keuchel, his early struggles. I don't know what it is. I think it's something mental. I don't know if it has anything to do with that he's not the primary ace no more, which he should already know. I mean, Justin Verlander is the man. That's a top 2 pitcher in this league. But I just want to see Dallas overcome this, man. I hope he's not hurt. I don't know what it is, but he's been looking real funky. I know McCullers got 8 up today, but
as lights out as Dallas has been for the Astros the last couple of years, man, he's due to have a bit of a rough stretch. I wouldn't really read too much into it. I mean Dallas is going to be Dallas.
It's slightly concerning. It's slightly concerning, especially when you talk about as deep as this rotation is right now. You at least want Keuchel to get out there and be able to pitch safely for 5 innings, but it's like he never get run support when he's out there.
And see, that's the thing that's more concerning to me is it's like the bats go to sleep whenever Keuchel gets on the mound. Like the run production is terrible.
Nothing. I think he had one run both games, so 2 runs on the season. So it's pretty bad. But hopefully he can snap out of it. They can give him a little big lead, and he can pitch into the 7th or 8th and just get his rhythm back, get his mojo back. But that's the only storyline I got. And of course Ken Giles, but hey, it is what it is with Ken Giles at this point. They thought he was Eric Garner. It ain't gonna work out like that. So it ain't gonna work out like that. So hopefully we get somebody else to fill that role. We'll see what's going down. But
not quite Mariano. It's
not just yet. Not just yet. But man, let's jump into the NBA awards very quick. Is it any award that y'all feel like is completely up for grabs, or is everything pretty unanimous? What we've been seeing lately: MVP Harden, Rookie of the Year Simmons, Defensive Rudy Gobert, Most Improved Sam Victor, Six-Man Lou, and they got as coach Dwayne Casey. I know we all gonna have a little bit something different to say, but do y'all feel like any of those awards should go to those people, or should be a little change of heart?
No, they're all pretty They're all pretty good as far as I'm concerned. I would probably do co-rookie of the year because I've always talked about Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
For my money, I think that I wouldn't be mad if they did a co-rookie of the year. I like Grant Hill and Jason Kidd when it comes to those guys. I think that you have a lot more leeway as far as conversation would go for coach of the year because I think there's a lot of guys that are really
Quinn Snyder
in the running.
I gotta give Quinn Snyder, especially if they finish third.
Oh yeah, if they finish third,
they started. What was it in January? They were 19 and 28. That's pretty impressive. You go from 19 and 28 to what is it? 19 games over.
Player in free agency, then losing your second best player for almost half.
Yeah, I mean, like his job has been incredible this year. Like, I know no disrespect to Dwayne Casey at all, and that's the thing that makes it so funny about this Coach of the Year thing. There's so many really, really good stories as far as coaches who've done an outstanding job this season.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Yeah, I mean,
I thought about this the other. I thought about this the other. Oh, continue.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna ask y'all. See, I was looking at Dwayne Casey. He's kind of really had the same roster for 4 years or whatnot. So you can see that team was supposed to take a jump. Yeah. I say coach of the year goes to the coach that overcomes like the most, I guess, difficulties throughout the year with Pop and Quinn Snyder, what Brad Stevenson had to deal with, looking what the Sixers had to deal with Brett Brown. Like those people need to get more because I think Dwayne Casey's in the same boat as who's our coach? Mike D'Antoni.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like it is what it is. I mean, you had a good season, but are you really the coach of the year? No. Right. I want to give coach of the year somebody who's. You give it to who? Dwayne Casey?
No, for my money, I would give it to Quinn because out of all of those cases that we just discussed, I mean, that was the one that we talked about how good Denver and Utah could potentially be, but none of us thought that they would be like third seed good, especially with the losses that they took personnel-wise.
Rubio.
Underrated trade was for Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder's fitting in damn nicely
on the
defensive end.
Then another underrated trade, Rick Rubio has found his stroke. He has been consistently shooting the ball.
I don't know why Minnesota got rid of him. I like Rubio.
Because
the problem with Ricky Rubio was the fact that he was caught up in a logjam of point guards everywhere he's been his entire career. For some reason, people always wanted to get more point guards to put around Ricky Rubio. And I'm like, why wouldn't you just let Ricky Rubio
play point guard?
Ricky Rubio. Yeah, so now he goes to Utah, where it's like, well, no, we got all these dudes to shoot and defend and all this. No, just play point guard. And Ricky was like, for real?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah,
and
go play point guard. And he was like, bet. And this is the Ricky Rubio that was hyped up before he got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
A career resurgence for Ricky Rubio, Rondo, and Holiday. Holiday's been outperforming, been playing to his contract. Rondo's been a good godsend for that. Mirotic's been a good pickup. Ilyasova and them and Bellinelli good pickup for the Sixers. But I got to give it to Quinn Snyder too. Just for if they finish at the third seed, no one saw this. We all thought Portland was gonna have that third seed, and the way they slipped and the way that the Jazz been whooping everybody asses, I got to give it to Jazz. I mean, it's Quinn Snyder.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Quinn.
And then the rookie. I guess the rookie of the year. I guess it can be an argument being made with Ben Simmons with the year you had a year to acclimate to the system. But I'm just like, we gave him to Blake Griffin, man. So it's just like,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then you still got to throw Jason Tatum some love. Kyle Kuzma's probably had one of the best seasons that nobody's talking about. Kyle Kuzma's hooping his ass off.
Yeah, Kuzma and Tatum.
And when you talk about Mitchell, breaking the 3-point record, guess who's number 5 on that list behind Steph Curry, Damian Lillard?
Is it Tatum?
Kyle Kuzma.
Oh, it's Kuzma, really?
Kuzma's 5th all time in 3 points made in the rookie season.
I think with Donovan Mitchell, I've been loving how he's been playing all year, but I think that something that has not been said is when they were 19 and 28, Donovan Mitchell was putting up the numbers that he has now. But what the change is with his Crowder, like you said, and also Gobert. Gobert coming back to the line, switch up their defensive rotations, and that's when they start taking off. And I think
that Gobert, he just had to get in rhythm. Once he got in rhythm, you know what he can do.
He was hurt, and he's come back from injury.
Yeah, so I think that he came back against us. We took advantage of him on the pick and roll. We can't do that right now. You can't.
I think that a lot of people look at Donovan Mitchell's stats and be like, oh, well, he's really carrying the Jazz. No, I think their defense is really carrying the Jazz, and I think Gobert and, like you said, Crowder really changed the culture in that 19 and 28 team, and they really changed everything. But with Ben Simmons, I mean, he's kind of been the catalyst all year round. He was kind of the A1, and he kind of made everything go. But also, you can also say his stats got inflated when they got Bellinelli and Ilyasova. They kind of just helped his game out more. So it can be a toss-up. I like a co-MVP, honestly.
Co-Rookie of the Year or co-MVP?
I mean, co-Rookie of the Year. I'm not giving no.
LeBron James?
I ain't giving no co-MVP to no LeBron James. They down by 20 right now to the Knicks.
But he ain't missed the game, man.
Shout out to the Sixers for getting 80 points in the first half.
Those my boys, man. Sixers.
They balling.
Sixers is no reason. I'm gonna say it right now. Let's move to the predictions. Is no reason the Sixers should not be in the Eastern Finals.
Because this is who they'll play. They'll play.
No reason.
Let me see. They'll play Miami, and then they'll back up, and then they'll play Miami or Milwaukee, and they'll backdoor and play the Celtics. There's no reason, like you said.
Boston. There's no reason Texas shouldn't be in the Eastern Finals.
Boston can't score the ball to save their life right now.
And like I say, I don't know what's gonna go down in the West, man. We still trying to see what's going on. Right now, it looked like we on pace. The Rockets are on pace to play the Wolves and the Spurs.
Not the Wolves. Is it the Wolves?
It's gonna be the Wolves because if the Nuggets,
the Spurs.
If the Nuggets lose though, then Timberwolves gonna be the 8th seed if the Thunder win and the Pelicans win.
Okay.
Yeah, like I say, it's
like the team.
Yeah, it's a good.
The Spurs are not doing it right now.
Yeah, they not.
They down.
They said fuck it. We're gonna go into the playoffs and do what we gotta do.
Yeah, it was a close game until about 5 minutes ago.
And they just took off.
I gotta see where that'll lead the Spurs. So I think the Spurs will be 7 then. So that means the Spurs will be playing the Warriors.
Are we sure? Oh man, I really don't want that. And it's not. I really want to see the Warriors play. Well, the Spurs gonna get the Warriors a run for their money. So you never know, especially how the Warriors been slipping right now. I personally would love to see them play the Timberwolves, honestly, because they really don't match up well with the Timberwolves. But I mean, it is what it is.
Timberwolves 8 seed or bust. It's 8 seed or bust for the Wolves. Right
Dog, I don't think the Timberwolves gonna win. I think Denver. I just like Denver.
Denver, they got them by 10 right now, man.
They got them by 10. Oh Lord. Hey, but then Portland had them by 15 the other night, and Denver came back.
I mean, it's still a pretty close game.
It's halftime, so you never know.
What y'all looking forward the most to in the playoffs?
Just to see to see what the Rockets gonna do, if they're gonna pan out or are they gonna fizzle and fall off. See if the Warriors gonna make it. I want to see if the Cavs. I want to see if the Sixers. Honestly, looking at before everything took place, I want to see if the Rockets are gonna make it. But I think now the thing I'm really looking forward to check for is to see how far the Jazz go and how far the Sixers go.
Man, I know regardless, that 2, 3, 6, 7 bracket is gonna be ridiculous.
And which conference?
In the West, especially if the Jazz get the 3 seed. Oh my God!
Who they gonna play? They play what? OKC.
If the Jazz get the 3 seed, they may play OKC.
I think they can beat OKC. I think OKC don't match up very well with them, especially on the defensive end.
But I think Utah. First off, I think that's gonna be the toughest out for anybody on the West side as far as like underdogs. When you look past the Rockets, the Warriors, I even throw the Spurs up in there. Like Utah is gonna be a tough out for anybody.
I didn't know they're
gonna be able to slow the game down drastically.
Second ranked defense overall. Did not know that.
They're able to play both styles, and that's the thing that makes Utah so fun. They can get up and they can pace and space you, or they can go through and they can old school break it down to have court offense.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, man. It's interesting to see what they've done and how they put those parts together and stuff like that. But they're in a position where they're clicking at the right time. Their confidence is starting to peak at the right time. So yeah, they're going to be a real tough out.
I feel like I need to give an apology to one Anthony Davis. I had no belief that he could lead this team to the playoffs. And
he did it before.
A late winning streak, like they looked at in the dumps. They had lost 3 straight. I'm like, man,
but he did it before, and I think another besides Anthony Davis, I think there are 3 players that people are not giving enough attention to. Mirotic has really opened things up for that offense. This guy has been consistently hitting threes, spacing the floor, getting rebounds, opening it up for Anthony Davis. Rondo also has been playing like Boston Rondo. And then my boy Jay Holiday, he's been balling since day one this year. When he got his 150 contract, everybody said, we don't know if he's worth that. He's proved this year that he's worth that contract. And I think that these other three players need to get as much love as Anthony Davis, because it hasn't just been the Anthony Davis show or bust. It's these other players also that's been helping.
Man, but the reason I give him credit first is because without him playing at an elite level, they don't make the playoffs. You feel me?
That's true. That's true.
That team is on his back. So I just didn't expect in this deep ass West, where you talk about the Clippers just got eliminated this week, the Nuggets playing for a play-in spot. I just didn't have that confidence that Anthony Davis that team. And he proved me wrong. And man, it'll be super scary if he had Boogie, because they was just starting to find.
Ooh, yeah. If they had Boogie, man, they ain't no telling what that team would have done.
But I think honestly, them making the playoffs, he's gonna resign. I think if he was to miss the playoffs, but just him being along for that ride, first time in his career, he's actually at a playoff environment.
That's gonna be a nice starting five. That's gonna be a nice starting five with Rondo, Holiday, Mirotic,
my brother,
Boogie.
They could find something else. They could find something else easier. The Pelicans gonna be a problem, but the West just in general is looking great, spectacular for next.
East is looking okay too. I mean, I can't too much hate on the East. I gotta give them some love.
Like it's still super top heavy. I mean, me personally, when you talk about the playoffs,
being honest, the East actually looks better long term than the West does.
Because it got young talent.
If we're being honest, this is the softest Western Conference in 30 years.
You think so?
Man.
Soft?
The last time you had a Western Conference that only had 250-win teams was 1988.
But
you got.
I think that's a product too.
You got 945-win teams though.
Let me finish. We can say that. That's all well and good. But if you go through and you look at the history of this conference over the last 30 years, you're talking about a conference that easily averages 5 to 7 50-win teams every season. And granted, you've had key injuries on some teams.
The balance of power has changed.
Would have been 50 wins. Like if you didn't have the injuries in Minnesota, you didn't have them in San Antonio, you didn't have them in New Orleans, those three teams would have probably won 50.
Mm-hmm.
You go through and you look at that. So it's not a thing of the talent not being there. It's just a thing of it's addition by subtraction. I mean, you still have some of those significant players that would have had a definite impact on these playoffs if they were available and healthy, a la Boogie, a la Kawhi, that would kind of change it. But the West is comparative. The West has more parity right now, but I wouldn't say that it was necessarily as strong as it's been maybe the past 5 or 6 years. The East, in the last 2-3 years, has grown by leaps and bounds, in my opinion, and especially head-to-head, because if I'm not mistaken, the East has a winning record against the West this year, right?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, especially
I wouldn't be surprised.
And as I think about it, I think that all of the Eastern playoff teams either have a 500 or better record against Western teams, right?
Only two. I think it's only Toronto and Boston has a 500 record against the West, and I think the West has 4.
But then
I'm talking playoff teams against playoff teams
this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Playoff teams. Yeah, I'm talking about above 500 teams. Yeah,
I thought the only one that didn't really have a good record against them was Miami.
No, it's Toronto and Boston. I was looking at the other day. I think Toronto and Boston has some of the best records against 500 plus teams, and then I think in the West it's like the Rockets, the Warriors. I think it was an outlier too. It was like I think was it San Antonio? I think San Antonio was up in there against 500 team record. Somebody else.
Maybe we gotta reinterpret. What I'm saying is this. I'm talking about Eastern Conference playoffs teams' records against Western Conference playoffs.
Oh, okay. I got what you're saying. Okay, I got what you're saying. Oh, you might be right.
The majority of them actually have winning records against the Western Conference teams. That's something that you don't want to see. And that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Long term, I look and I see it's currently constructed because, of course, you got free agency and stuff like that that'll come in and play a factor. But as of right now, long term, the East looks to be a little bit stronger than the West. That changes literally year by year, depending on the way that things move, because all it'll take is a LeBron to the Lakers, and this conversation is a moot point.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those types of things.
I always look at it as the East. I kind of can't compare because it's like I think doesn't it like the East teams only play like the Western Conference team only like 2 times, and it's like they only play each other twice or something like that. And the West has just really been beating up on each other. I just think they've really been going at each other.
Were like,
but the West has been beating up on each other for the better part of 20 years, and this is only the second time.
But they also been beating up on the East too. No, that's true. I mean, I just think I don't know, man. That competition is beautiful.
I think that it's interesting, and I think that a lot of people are so into that narrative. And granted, it's pretty much been a true one that the West has just automatically been stronger, better, tougher than the East. And this season, I can't really say that because there's been so much more improvement from a lot of those Eastern teams that have come out of the woodwork, like a Sixers, like a Milwaukee, like a Indiana. You know what I'm saying? That kind of raised up the middle of their conference, whereas it's always been so extremely top heavy in the East. It's literally only been 1 or 2 teams in the East, and then everybody else is trash. You can't really say that this year about the East.
I just literally think there are only 5 teams in the East that are actually even that good, and that's Toronto, Boston, Philadelphia, Cleveland, and Indiana. Everybody else is a pass. Milwaukee
is that different from the West?
Okay, Milwaukee underachieved. They floating on only 500 record. Miami's been disappointed of late. Same with Washington. Man, the West been really killing it. Like from Golden State all the way down to the Clippers. I mean, they were really fighting.
Now, just because of the fact that they're beating each other up in their close in standings, don't mean that they're good. Because for my money, I can't really find 5 teams in the West that I think of that are actually good, legit contenders either.
Who? So you don't think that
legit contenders is still only 2?
The Rockets, the Warriors. I'll give some love to the Jazz because they're doing the miracle effort right now. I'm hard pressed to find anybody that I would really take seriously as a title contender past those 3.
I agree. Honest. I see what you're saying. I honestly do see what you're saying. I would throw Timberwolves in there.
That's why I keep saying that the gap between the East and the West is not as big as people want to make it out to be. It's super close, and it hasn't been this close for a while. That's why I'm just choosing to give them a little bit of credit. And just kind of, people need to get away from this whole automatically assuming just because you see a lot of the names or a lot of people keep talking about how tough the West is, that like the East is just the JV league. Not this year.
DeMarcus, who told you that? Preseason, I told DeMarcus the East was going to come with it with that young talent. But can I ask you, I like what DeMarcus said about injuries, because if New Orleans had Boogie, I think they would have been better. San Antonio with Kawhi, OKC, whatever. Minnesota, if they never lost Jimmy Butler, remember they was a 3rd seed and they lost Jimmy Butler, and that's when they.
If Minnesota never had lost Jimmy Butler, they'd have won 52.
The biggest bust of this year is Andrew Wiggins. He did literally nothing when Butler was gone. He did not. He did not earn that money that he got paid.
Is that Andrew, or is that the guy that's coaching Andrew?
That is true. I don't think they game. I don't think they kind of. You think they run sets for Andrew Wiggins?
I really don't know. I just don't think that Thibodeau is a good coach for Wiggins and the type of player that he is.
For Wiggins. Not
for Wiggins specifically. I don't think
he's a good fit.
Yeah,
I think
he likes the Butler guy. He likes the guy that can take it on the chin and be hard nosed and stuff like that. Wiggins just isn't that guy.
He's more finessing.
He's like honestly, if I'm Minnesota right now, if you're all in on Tibbs and his philosophy and stuff like that, you should be entertaining offers for Andrew Wiggins right now. Yeah, you should be entertaining offers for Andrew Wiggins right now. Because Andrew Wiggins can go somewhere else and be good. He just needs that right type of fit and that right type of scheme.
Hey, bum J. Cole. He needs to get bum J. Cole.
To be the guy. He's always been second fiddle since he's been in Minnesota.
Hey, I think bum J. Cole would be nice to replace Wiggins.
Bum J. Cole gonna get paid by somebody. I think he's gonna get free. Yeah.
I was about to say, I think he's gonna get greener pastures.
He still got another year. He got another year with. He's not a free agent until next year. The year in 19.
That Otto Porter contract, he gonna get $100 million wherever he go.
I think if Denver had a better coach, I think they would have been a real threat. I think coaching really let them down. And then losing Millsap. Oh, they lost Millsap for like almost 30 games.
All the teams that should have won 50 games, they had.
I forgot about that. They had injuries. Yeah, man, that's true. I didn't think about that.
Blazers 2 games from 50. Pelicans lost Boogie 47. Spurs no Kawhi 47. Thunder, I don't know what the hell going on with the Thunder. I can't defend them at all.
Russell Westbrook has 1 point.
You're not telling me that Andre Robinson is the reason they didn't win 50 games. Come on.
I think so. I can believe that. I can believe that because he's really a defensive stopper. I mean, he really kind of.
Well, that and the fact that, people automatically assume because they saw that the names that were added and stuff like that. But as people in sports know, man, you can't buy chemistry. It took a
Oh,
while for
remember
them to
people
even
saying they're
gel
going to
and
be
learn to play with each other.
second in the West. Like that team
Yeah, I mean, it took a while for them to actually gel and learn how to play with each other. And I mean, it was a lot of losing involved for them to get on that one accord. So,
well,
you know,
they had a nice little winning streak back in December. So
Yeah.
I mean, they just been up and down. They've been super inconsistent. They've been by the streak as Paul George jump shot.
which is kind of reflective of the players that are involved on that team. Up and down.
Exactly.
Hey man, Westbrook got his 17 rebounds.
Since that 3-point contest, Paul George, he ain't been the same.
Paul George looked like he tired of it, man. He looked like he ready to be out the door.
But Wilson, going into this playoffs, I mean, it looked like you're gonna be without your star. I haven't heard no Kawhi rumblings. I don't know if he's gonna make a Space Jam appearance toward the end.
He is. Michael Jordan at the end. Yeah, he's gonna come out there with the claw.
If you were to match up with a team like Golden State, what would be your expectations in that type of series without a Steph Curry? And I know Murray gonna kill the shit out of Cook all night long. So
I would still look for the Spurs to probably lose in 5. I can't get away from the narrative that I've pushed all season long. I'm still a firm believer that this is all a bluff from Golden State. Golden State is literally one of maybe 2 or 3 teams in the league currently constructed right now that can, as cliche as it sounds, quote unquote, flip the switch when it comes to the playoffs. And I think that they are. I think that they don't like the fact that they haven't been paid attention to. I think that they will use all of that as motivation. If I know Steve Kerr the way that I know him, he'll use every clipboard, newspaper fodder trick in the book to get them motivated and hyped up. On San Antonio's side, I just think that they're a little too young in the important spots and a little too old in the key spots to be able to keep up with a Golden State at this point. It would help if they had a Kawhi, but I don't really trust Kawhi if he came back for the playoffs, because how many games is it going to take for you to get in the swing of things? I mean, you could be down 0-2 by the time he gets into his rhythm.
Can I say this about the Warriors? And I like what you said about they can't flip the switch or whatnot. And the thing about the Warriors, when looking at a few of their games, actually a lot of the games with just Kevin Durant or whatnot, the thing I noticed is Draymond Green. You don't have the same Draymond of 3 years that we've used to seeing of making all the extra passes, being the ground, the bruiser. And he doesn't do that when it's Kevin Durant there. When Curry's there, the game kind of opens up for Draymond to do that. But when Kevin Durant's there, it gets kind of stagnant.
He's super ball dominant, Kevin Durant is now.
Yeah, man. And that offense really looks bad when it's just Kevin Durant. It's sad to say that, and I don't really try to say that in saying is, the Warriors are trashing like that, or saying that Kevin Durant or Curry's better than Kevin Durant or whatnot. It's just saying that he
slows down the pace.
It does. He slows down the pace of what they're used to doing, and that spreading that ball, and that bench is really not coming in and giving you. Nick Young is not playing good at all. Iguodala, he's still hurt. Cook is good. David West not really doing anything. I don't know. I don't want to say the Warriors are gonna lose this year, but hey, it could be possible.
I mean, anything is possible when the playoffs start. That's one thing we know for sure.
It's a whole new season when playoffs start. I can't wait, man. It's going to be nice.
It is the season. The regular season, man. Regular season is cool. It's nice. It's a little appetizer, but the entree, my man, is postseason. You can get into
a good year.
You get into the Hall of Fame in a regular season, you become a legend in the postseason. I always stand by that.
Oh, okay. I like how you dropped it. I like that. That's how
it goes down. But
I like that.
Hey, that's the truth. That's the truth right there. But is there anything else y'all looking forward to playoff wise? Like I said, I know we don't got the seeds for show, so it's hard for us to get into the series. LeBron, you ready for LeBron to go zero dark 30 mode?
Well, the one thing that
8 straight finals.
I love as an old school basketball fan or an old school sports fan in general is it's amazing to me how people love to hate on the man. They love to talk about the man. They love to talk down the man, stuff like that. But you also have to understand that in the lexicon of sports, the more you talk about him, the more you acknowledge his greatness, because you wouldn't be talking about a 15-year veteran like this so much, so passionately, so vehemently if he just wasn't that good to begin with. Add to the fact that he's paying attention, he listens, and yes, that Zero Dark 30 is about to be super real, because I think that he's going to be super focused this go around. It's going to be funny, and as much as people gonna hate to see it stuff like that, I fully expect for LeBron to pull a LeBron and throw himself in that time machine, and he's gonna drag that team to the finals.
I mean, as long as Tristan
I see
Thompson
the
don't keep getting out.
I see the complete opposite, but hey, man, people say I'm a hater, but it is what it is.
Sixers to the finals, baby. Let's go. If they can,
I just don't think I don't think the Cavs got it this year. I mean, no slight on what LeBron's done. LeBron's been balling. I think that we do overhype that.
Toronto don't want to see LeBron though, bro.
That is true. That is true. 33. Why we act like LeBron's really old? Like the dude spends $1 million on his body and he's only 33. Like Jason Terry was winning his
15 years. It doesn't matter how old you are. 15 years is still 15 years. 15 years of playing at least 90 to 100 games every year is still 15 years.
Plus Olympics.
You can say whatever you want to say. That dude's played in the postseason every year of his career.
Yeah, I give it to him. Hey, his nutrition, the way he take care of his body, the level he's playing at. Congratulations, it's awesome. I mean, it is really second to none. It's really impressive watching LeBron James playing. But I just truly see, like you said, with the East being better, like you said, in a lot of the competition, I just feel like if they go against, let's play hypotheticals. They play the Pacers. The Pacers are no slouch. Pacers may get one game, may get 2 games, but just that rigorous grind of who they have to play to get to the finals is going to wear the team down. May not wear down LeBron. He's going to wear the team down because a lot of their players are not haven't been in the playoffs. So you think you play the Pacers and then you backdoor and play the Raptors, and then you have to pay to say the Sixers, and then you have to play whoever you play in the finals. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be LeBron's toughest.
LeBron, not to cut you off, but that's the thing that always makes me smile when it comes to LeBron. LeBron is one of the very few superstars of this generation that you don't really speak to as far as wondering if he's going to have a fall off when it comes to the postseason. LeBron you can almost set your watch to the fact that whatever he did regular season, he's going to outdo in the postseason. Mm-hmm. And that's the part that makes it scary, because when you think about what LeBron has done this season, if he really has it in himself to do the traditional LeBron and take it up another level, that's
I don't think he's going to play better. I don't think he's going to play better for the simple fact is I don't think LeBron can play better offensively than he has been playing. And if he does, it's going to take away from the defense as we didn't seen. One or two things going to change. Either he's going to start playing better defense and his offensive game takes a step back, or his offensive game is still going to be in high swing, and then his defense is going to take a break off.
Have you heard his last interview?
About him stepping his defense up?
Mm-hmm. No, about him deciding that he wants to take on a role and be more like Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers as it pertains to his team.
Dog, LeBron just be talking, man. I mean, it is what it is. Sell him, LeBron. Sell them boys on that.
It speaks to the nature of his game anyway. LeBron has always been kind of underappreciated as a facilitator. Almost doubted because of the fact that he likes to facilitate more than he likes to dominate by scoring.
I agree.
And he can facilitate, a la Drew Brees or an Aaron Rodgers, get more of his teammates involved, get them into comfortable rhythms. Oh yeah, they can easily go to the final.
If Jeff Green plays like Jeff Green been playing, and Kevin Love plays halfway decent,
Kevin Love will show up. Like if it's anybody,
Kevin Love is another dude that doesn't really disappoint in the postseason either.
Every postseason he's played in,
except in the finals.
What?
Except in what finals?
The Warriors finals last year. Like
come on. Last year, a team that
and the year before. Are you serious? Kevin Love was a no-show in both of those finals, and that was the knock on Kevin Love on why they said that he should be traded. Now he balled against Atlanta.
The first couple games of that series when they was down 3-1, Kevin Love didn't show up. But toward that last 3 games,
I was about to say on them
Kyrie, it was a great Kyrie and LeBron takeoff.
No,
Kevin Love was missing there was a narrative. Kevin Love was missing a lot of open threes. Kevin Love was not.
The first
Kevin Love wasn't playing.
Yes. But when it mattered, Kevin Love was
in them 3 games that they came back on.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes,
man.
Very serious.
Right. I don't agree with that, but all right.
Kevin Love was hooping, man.
He was hooping against Atlanta and them, but in the finals, I don't because
last 3 games of the finals, Kevin Love showed up. Kevin Love showed up. They needed him. Kevin Love was everything they thought he would be when they first traded for him those last 3 games.
Okay.
No doubt, 100%. But man, anything else y'all got for the folks? I mean, like I say, we can't discuss too much of the playoffs. Everything's still up in there. We'll dig back into it next week. But anything else y'all got?
Oh, congrats to Russell.
Yeah,
Good
he
job.
got a 6.
Double
He's
great
gonna
season.
get it.
Awesome.
He's gonna get it. Oh, and then shout out, we did catch that WrestleMania, one of the best WrestleManias we've seen this century, hands down.
It was very good. It was very good.
Very damn good. You seen Charlotte lost the title on SmackDown. Camilla cashed in.
Yeah, and I saw my girl Paige had to retire a la Edge style, man. Hate
But then
that
she
for her.
got
She
the
wasn't
GM
there long enough.
couple
Yeah,
of
she wasn't
times.
there long enough, and I miss her in the in-ring, but I like the fact that they gave her the GM spot. That's cool.
Yeah, first NXT Women's Champion, no doubt. She's doing her thing. Bobby Lashley returned. Jeff Hardy
Oh, my
returned.
God.
Man, Monday Night Raw was lit. But yeah, no doubt, WrestleMania, that was a damn good one. Y'all ain't caught it. Get on that WWE Network. Just check it out. Y'all enjoy the show. Y'all definitely enjoy the show.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. Hey, I enjoyed watching it this year.
Yeah, Griff gave it what an 8.5 out of 10, and he ain't called WrestleMania in years. So
Yeah, man, it was really entertaining.
We should have filmed it. We should have filmed his
My
ass watching
man,
WrestleMania. Sounded like a 6-year-old kid with all them questions and getting all hyped.
Hey,
and,
I knew
"Wait,
nothing.
Man, look! Oh my God! Did you see? Look at this! Look! I was like, "Damn, Griff, have you ever seen a wrestling show before?" He was just so excited. That
that
shit was
it's that entertainment aspect that get people.
I
every-
needed to see this, man. I needed to see this, man. I did not know. I did not know it was that entertaining. I'm be honest with you. I have to be honest with you, man.
it's the-
Those refs were pissing me off with the delayed 3 count. I said, what is going on here? This man is pausing. Get to the 3.
if you had to single out a performance that kind of like captivated you, Griff, what match would it have been?
Let's see.
What character would it be?
Let's see. Let's go. We had remind me, we had Undertaker and John Cena.
We had Undertaker,
yeah.
Cena. We had
Oh,
Styles.
the one with the black group, that one other group with the beards.
Oh, the triple
talking
threat
about the old
tag
songs,
team match.
New Day and
The Bludgeon Brothers.
yeah, the
Yes,
Bludgeon-
that
yeah.
match was incredible. The way they was just whooping up on everybody, I loved it.
Yeah, the Bludgeon Brothers, they just squashed them boys. So.
They
It
wasn't
was like,
playing
all
no
right,
games.
Have y'all fun. We're gonna get these straps real quick. It
I
was
think
fun.
I think I was telling them, like, if it was any match I expected to be like a dominant character, it wasn't those two guys. It was not those two guys.
Nah.
They dominated that match, and it was crazy. Like, they won by a landslide. Nobody's pinched them motherfuckers.
And I will say this: I think me and DeMarcus talked about it before. This WrestleMania had the best 2 opening matches to start a
Man.
WrestleMania ever.
Oscar
Ever.
losing to Charlotte, man,
Oh,
that shit
man.
was crazy, dude. That shit
And
was
that
crazy.
damn triple threat IC match with the Miz, Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins, man, that was an old school classic triple threat match with all the bells and whistles. You
No
had 3 top-notch athletes giving it 110%, crazy moves, crazy action, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I did not honestly see Seth Rollins winning that title. I thought that the Miz was gonna find a way to retain, but
Yeah, I thought
it was another
like
added little.
22 days.
Yeah, it was another little added thing in there. And see, then it dawned on me when he said it on Raw, the fact that now he just made his Grand Slam. All the members of the Shield are Grand
Mhm.
Slam winners now.
That's right.
That I was like, okay, all right.
I see what.
you
Yeah, I
did.
see what happened.
I see what
I see why.
Hey, y'all about to get mad at me because I got my Kevin Love stats ready. Are y'all ready?
Yeah, go for it.
So Kevin Love in last year was only averaging 16 points and 8 rebounds, and before that he was averaging 14 points and only 7 rebounds. I mean, it was okay. I just remember Kevin Love, and it's always been the factor that everybody loves to bring up by Kevin Love is that he didn't show up in the finals. Like, he was fine in the playoffs, but in the finals he went ghost, and that was the reason why Cleveland was kind of floating, trading Kevin Love. Now, I enjoy Kevin Love. Wish he was on the Rockets, but I just remember that. That's the only reason why I'm saying.
So was that the averages that you got for the last 3
Yeah, was
games
that
of
the
the
last
series?
3
They came
games?
back 3-1.
Yeah, that was his totality in against the Warriors in the finals the last 3 years. Oh, the last 2 years he got hurt in 2015.
We were talking about the 3 games in the series that they won when they.
Oh
came
yeah,
back.
I'm sorry. I'd come next
Oh, come on,
podcast.
yeah.
That's too much
See,
looking.
Don't come with us.
Yeah,
He probably
Okay, with the averages. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Basketball's a game of averages. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
He's trying to heat check us, and he gave us 3 years of stats.
He probably
about 3 games.
He probably had 28 one game and 0 the next. It don't count.
That's what I'm saying. That's what he did. That's what he did. You remember he went ghost. He would just be like, "Dang, Kevin Love, you had 2 points. What's going on here, son?" You're right. He did have the up and down games.
Lighting their ass.
The last 3, he averaged like 28, and he want to give us the average.
All right, man. I'm gonna come with y'all next week to show y'all that Kevin Love is sucks in the final play.
Oh shit!
But nah, man, the wrestling was awesome.
Motherfucker, since Bill Walton in the playoffs.
Hey, man, that's woo-wee. That's a dial back.
That 80.
I gotta give it. Wrestling was awesome, man. I gotta give it some love. That was awesome. I really enjoyed it.
I'm just glad you enjoyed yourself, Griff. I'm just glad.
Yeah, they didn't disappoint, and it was so much fun watching you having such a good time. Me and DeMarcus was rolling. But no, man, look at him. No, look at the replay. Look, see, he paused right there on the second one.
Look at that. Them refs was pissing me off, man. They was pissing me all the way off. Oh, and then Ronda Rousey throwing Stephanie McMahon all over the place was awesome too. And I saw she threw around on Raw too.
Yeah. She picked up where she left off on Raw. I thought that was.
She was trying to give a hug, and she put her arm in that lock. I was like, "Oh God."
Yeah, Ronda definitely did her thing. I gotta give her a big shout out for that. She pulled off some damn moves. I didn't think she had
me. I didn't think that she actually took time, studied the craft, got some moves.
I mean, when you working with Kurt Angle though, that's a legend right there.
Yeah,
oh, and the two chicks from Grownish performing the anthem at the beginning.
Anthem. Yeah.
Awesome.
No doubt, man. Anything else y'all got for the folks? For we catch a little bit of this basketball and see what these seeds gonna be.
Watch the playoffs. It should be very interesting.
I am
that's
so
why they really
fucking hyped. You don't understand. Like I'm ready to get. I'm a little down by the regular season with Luke Bamute getting hurt, but I'm ready for the.
Hey, two things I do want to throw out there. Into the Badlands. Go watch it on Netflix. I finally got caught up. Awesome show. And then also, Star is killing it. Mm-hmm. Paddy LaBelle is a drug dealer. My word. Paddy is slanging them pies.
Singing drug dealer.
A gospel singing drug. Oh yeah.
Let's get it right. Let's get it right now.
And Brandy is her daughter, and she is slanging that G thing too. So you know what? It is awesome. Awesome.
Wilson, you was about to give us a little breakdown on the playoffs before I cut you off, my man. Go ahead.
No. All I was saying is this, man. If you claim to be a basketball fan, if you got a dog that's in the fight in these playoffs, and you watching anything besides the playoffs, you suck at life.
Suck it like
this season. This season, for what you think of it, whether folks think that it's great, whether folks think it's not so great, whatever, what have you, this season has done its job because it has set the stage for some of the most highly anticipated playoff matchups that I've seen in a long time. Now, it's no longer a situation where, like, we've had great playoff series, we've had great playoff seasons and stuff like that, but the one thing about it is that it's always been predicated by always seeing the usual suspects. You kind of always knew who was going to be in the playoffs, for like the last 5 or 6 years or so. This year it has that newness, it has that unpredictability, it has that kind of everything is wide open, everybody has a shot, like everybody has a legitimate shot on both sides of the conferences in this year's playoffs. Like literally anybody 1 through 8 has a shot to get in there, make some shit happen. It's going to be fun to see. That's the thing that makes me really excited about this. It's gonna make it really exciting as far as the postseason. Now, I didn't agree with you with the regular season stuff because I don't really get into regular season like that. But as far as the postseason, yes, this year has set itself up to be one of the more exciting postseasons in recent memory.
Man, and what all I said with the regular season, I know people really ain't checking for it and all that, but I'm just saying that the storylines and the play of the regular season has made it that much interesting for the postseason. Because if you were going into this year and just look at the playoff implications, you're gonna be like, okay, well, it's gonna be the Warriors and the Cavs. But because of the storylines and what we've seen during the regular season, it's making the playoffs that much interesting that I can't wait for.
The only problem that I have with the regular season is just from a selfish standpoint, and it's not just because I'm a Spurs fan, but I think that it's not a thing of how the season was played that makes the postseason exciting for me. I think that one of the downers to it is that a lot of the postseason excitement is due to a lot of the people that didn't play this year or didn't play all season. I think it changed a lot of factors in there and stuff like that. And that's just me, again, being selfish. It didn't take away from the overall progress.
You're right.
It's been a great season. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But it's just funny because, you know, you'll always have that, well, what if old boy didn't sit out 30 games? Or what if he didn't get hurt? Or what if Gordon Hayward didn't go for that alley-oop? You know, those kind of things that, you know, come up and it'd be like, man, this whole thing could have been completely different. But shit, now I got to wait for the lottery and the draft and we'll get him next season, you know. It just keeps the cycle going, but it's fun because you truly have a sense that something different is going to happen this year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's gonna be a lot of parity going on.
See you in the finals, Rockets.
See the Sixers in the finals, boy. Ben Simmons.
Y'all are going to a watch party for the finals with the Rockets?
Oh no, we're going to watch the Rockets in the finals.
We're gonna be at the game, dog.
Y'all gonna be at V Live with James Harden watching the finals? Is that what y'all see?
What?
You know
what?
Y'all gonna be a dream?
You know James Harden don't go to V Live no more. You know he's a homegoing man now.
Good terms into that comment, man.
Now?
Yes, he does. Pole in the living room. Pole in the living room. Pole in the kitchen. Pole in the bathroom.
I'm tired of y'all being in my business.
Girl, are you stripping in the bathroom?
Yes. Uber strippers. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I like to order on this Uber strips. Kind of like Uber Eats, except with dancers. Yeah. I need to order 4. I need to order 4.
They got a profile swipe.
Hey, Tristan, if you're going to cheat out here, be more discreet, as Chloe has said.
Man, please. Tristan, do whatever the hell you want to. There ain't nobody got time for that.
Did you hear what she said? I'm sorry to go long on this. I heard that she came out and said that she would prefer that Tristan keeps his cheating more discreet. I said, what?
Bro, the funny
is this how you subject yourself to?
I always understand, and this is an old folk saying from way back in the day that people don't pay attention to. How you get with somebody is probably how that person is going to exit your life. So if you get in with somebody by being a side chick, don't be mad when that dude pops the same side chick rotation on you.
Ooh, facts are being dropped.
And how you gonna cheat like on the low, bro? He's 6'9" in the club, like, bro.
We see you. We see you, dog.
Come on, bro.
We see you bending over to kiss that 5'10" chick in the mouth, dog.
I like that is 5'2". Like my 5'2".
You should have got you one of those behemoths that come out the WNBA. It's like 6'4".
Man, you should have been smart as a multi-millionaire and just outsourced and had her picked up by an Uber and dropped off wherever you was gonna be at, so you could never be seen on film walking into some hotel. Or
Wilson is throwing game out here for you people.
Money and they just stupid, man. They stupid.
You're too damn stupid to realize.
If I got Tristan Thompson money, real talk. If I got Tristan Thompson money,
80 million,
my entourage is gonna be able to go through and cover up anything and everything. I'm gonna have her walk in with my homeboy and be like, oh, that's my homeboy's girl. He smashed whatever it takes, man. You go through and you do what you got to do, man. When you got that kind of money, come on, man.
These young people, they want the thrill,
streets, man. Don't follow.
It's a thrill. It's a thrill, man.
Yeah, you on the streets in the day and age of stoplight cameras, cell phone cameras, everybody cameras. Come on, man. I'm Chris Carter voice. Come on, man.
People record everything, bro.
Everything.
Man, anything else, y'all?
That's on him. I low key don't think that he really cared. Honestly, he can't be that stupid.
Dog, he made out with almost 3 chicks in the club. He gives no fucks at all.
Winning. #winning. These chicks is about to get this do it to it fluid. If the missus find out, I don't give a shit.
Hey, he was like, Lou Will, I'm gonna do you one better. You got 2 girls, I'm about to have 3. Man. Chloe and these 2 that I'm taking back to the room. Cha-ching. Okay.
Man, cash out, TT.
Oh, I also want to say, if the Sixers do go to the finals and they do for some reason win the championship, what a year for Philly.
Man,
can't do it, brother. Can't do it.
Villanova, Eagles.
Can't do it. You mean to tell me you're gonna have the Eagles and Villanova? Then you already sacrificed too much. It's like a Yu-Gi-Oh game. You got to sacrifice a couple of monsters. Blue-eyed dragon. You can't.
The Yu-Gi-Oh reference. And what's funny about that? I just been watching all of Yu-Gi-Oh the other day.
Yeah, to pull off that Eagles Villanova back-to-back right there. Oh, you sacrificed the Phillies, you sacrificed the Flyers, and you sacrificed the Sixers. You had to give up 3 monsters to bring up those.
That's
2.
the process. Maybe that's the process. Maybe
next year, Villanova fall off, Sixers might get in the mix.
Yeah, they might win the championship.
Hey, Villanova got 2 top 15 players. They gonna fall over.
Wilson, this is what happened. for Villanova to win, they had to sacrifice Joel Embiid. He coming back.
Yes.
Now, it was Jaleel Okafor. It was Jaleel.
No. Have Joel get hurt again.
Dog, because his injury was so just random. And I'm like, dang, you out this long for that? An eye fracture?
It was so fluky.
That was too funny.
And then it came around the time of Villanova, Kansas too. I was like, karma is just too strong.
I sacrifice you, Embiid.
I'm sacrificing you and these Jayhawks to let my Villanova Wildcats.
The Eagles had to sacrifice Meek Mill so they can get that chance. I sacrifice you, Meek Mill.
Meek took that L.
You know what? The Sixers might win because guess what? They probably gonna sacrifice Kevin Hart's struggles this year and go try to get that.
Can't do it. He just got a radio station on Sirius XM.
Oh damn! Never mind. Sixers, y'all ain't gonna make it. Sorry.
Yeah. Conference finals might be a good look though. There's no shame in it.
That's funny.
No shame in it.
That's funny.
Off rip though. Off rip. Anything else?
LeBron gonna take Ben Simmons Rookie of the Year trophy in the conference finals. I heard you was gonna win this Rookie of the Year.
Give me this.
That's cute.
I remember when I won my first trophy.
I remember when I had my first beer.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, now take this sweet.
How does it feel to be?
Yeah, I take this sweet. That's the Eddie Kane, bro, just waiting outside in the alley.
I'm gonna show you what they did to me in the finals in 2007 with Timmy and all them boys.
Sweet.
How does it feel?
Now, what's my office hour?
Okay, hit him up at the press conference. Very glowing. No, Ben's a great athlete. He's gonna have an awesome career, great talent. Yeah, but he took these four straight.
But like you said, it's gonna be interesting. I don't want to doubt LeBron, but it's just like the chips stacked against LeBron and him actually playing 82 games for once and him playing all these minutes. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting just for his. What'd you say?
It's gonna make the story even juicier when he does it. The NBA and the media is gonna have a fucking.
They're gonna eat that up. They're gonna eat that up to no ends if LeBron make it to the finals. They're gonna eat that up.
Oh, get ready for it, Griff. You got 2 months. 2 months to prepare.
Bruh, it's about to be severe. Go on, get yourself buckled in and get ready.
Cause that nigga's a beast.
He about to treat every game like that game that he played against the Pistons back in the day.
He torched them boys. Like he torched. Oh, I used to love watching him play the Pistons.
LeBron gonna be like, look, fellas, here's the deal. It's playoffs time. I'm not fucking around with y'all. Just get me to the fourth quarter and keep us within 5. I'll take care of the rest.
JR, put the Henny down. It's time to go to work.
Put the MD 2020 down.
While you bullshitting, you may need to give JR the Henny. Just let him ball out.
That's a superpower.
JR might get lit in these playoffs. JR might show a little something. You never know.
Well, hey, we'll see. If Jeff Green ain't got it going, they're going to easy sub him back out for JR.
Jeff, can you do anything? Jeff, are you okay? Jeff, are you okay? Somebody stole his talent like on Space Jam. Find the basketball that's got his powers.
Return it back to that man. LeBron took some of their powers to give to himself.
Something. Shit. Like Jeff fell off the table talent-wise, like for real. Jeff went from like, damn, what happened to Jeff?
He been balling now. He been balling of late. I give him that.
Get that magic back.
But he was dead for a while.
Man, for a long time. For sure. But man, is that it for us?
Yeah, it's been a good show.
Playoffs. That's all there is. Playoffs. That's it. That's all that matters right now. Everything else is not worthy of attention, time, or mention. NBA playoffs. Get in where you fucking fit in.
Man. And as for now, this has been Fish and Grits. And you guys have just been served.
Y'all enjoy.
Peace.